The sun is getting warmer. Oh, when we soar away among the clouds, the sky is just a border. Oh, when we're floating up like helium.
Say something meaningful, say something I don't know. I wanna know you better. The way that you talk to me, the way that you make me feel, I don't know if you're real. I wanna put you in that spotlight, looking at you all night. Put you in that spotlight. You make me feel right. Wanna look at you all night. Put you in that spotlight. Oh, you know you're beautiful. You know you're beautiful, and it's like you're untouchable, like you're untouchable.
Welcome everybody. How are you all doing today? Good morning and afternoon and evening wherever you guys are. So, as you guys know, the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Vision of Ice mini box has officially been announced by Konami. I have a link in the description below if you guys want to check that link out. I also have the link to the petition if you guys would like to sign that too. We made a video about that the other day with the state of Duel Links and stuff like that, etc, etc. Welcome everybody. How are you all doing? As I said, we got Juju, we got Yui, MU, Cubics, and Andreas. What's up, guys? Oh, and Dennis as well. I almost forgot about you, bro. Sorry if I don't read all your messages in today's video because I do have you guys all on the smaller monitor off to the side. Why I have this review going here on the main screen. So, as soon as about 30 people, we're going to go ahead and get into it. That way, I got a good bit of you starting off. And in case some of you guys are wondering, when will this box drop? It'll probably drop, I'd say, I think it's, I believe, on the 30th is what's expected. And if it's going to drop on the 30th, that means a lot of you guys, especially if you're in the EU, you're probably going to get it like early in the morning on the 1st. Like, say, anywhere from midnight to probably 1 or 2 a.m. for you guys there. The box is usually dropped 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if it is expected to drop on the 30th, then yeah, that would make a lot of sense. So, but we'll see. We missed you last night, sir. Yeah, I took the night off of YouTube, Eddie. I need to get some rest, my boy. I took the night off of YouTube. I'm here. Welcome, Mr. Gaming. Eddie, what's up? Alright, guys. So let's go ahead and start with the review here. Alright, so there's a total of 40 types, 2 UR, 8 SR, 14 rare, and 16 N. You guys should know this by now with mini boxes. I like doing the reviews for mini boxes over the big boxes because they're so much smaller. But as you guys know, if you're new here, we also do a rating system anywhere from 1 to 5 for each card. And we cover those ratings all the way to the rares, and then we just stop with the ratings at that point. So, the first UR we have here to talk about today is the Tricky Spellcaster Effect, 2000 attack, 1200 defense. It is a wing attribute, 5-star monster. You can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 card. Now, why is this important to note? This is literally a 2000 beater that you can put on the field pretty easily, and if you run a Power of Dark deck, this is a 2200 beater. If you run this in a Bastion deck, this could be a 2500 beater with, of course, only 700 defense with the field spell. So this is a really, really easy to summon 2000 plus beater. Because discarding card isn't that bad, especially depending on what kind of deck you're running, discarding a card might actually be a good thing for you. So since there's a lot of decks right now that actually like having cards discarded to the graveyard, this card could be a very welcome addition to a lot of people's decks. This could be a really good tech in. This may not even be a card that actually necessarily is, part of the archetype you're trying to build, spellcasters, for example, or wind, for example, but it could start getting the engine going for whatever type of deck build that you are running, and having a free 2k beater on the field also is not that bad as well. So this could set up for a lot of OTK plays, etc., etc. So I'm definitely going to give this card probably a 4.5. This card seems like it's very versatile and very, very good. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, the other UR. Now, a lot of people, including myself, are excited about this. Why? Because of how easy this man can be summoned, and his effect is so good. He is also a water attribute. He's a double tribute, of course. Dragon effect, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Now, don't let those double tribute cost, kind of stray you away from wanting to run this beast. This beast can be summoned easily with a Kid Moto because it does not have any restriction to where it cannot be special or normal summoned or anything like that. So Kid Moto into this beast would be fantastic. And as you guys know, we got that new card, the level 45 reward from Kaiba, the Melody. So, add that with all the other cool dragon support we already have. Dragons could actually take off a little bit here in the meta with White Knight Dragon, that effect that he's going to have is really, really cool. During either player's turn, when a spell trap card that targets this card is activated, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. When another face-up monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can send one spell trap card you control to the graveyard, change the attack target to this card. So, very, very cool. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5. Awesome dragon. He's got high stats, 3k plus beater. That's awesome. And his effects are actually pretty damn good. I'm going to take away here and look at the chat for a second. Yeah, Tricky Beto down. Definitely for sure, Macintosh. That's definitely, like I said, that card's going to be great. Arc Brave deck? Absolutely, Emmanuel. Absolutely. No problem, Mitty. Alright, guys, let's go to the next card here. The SR Dragon Ice. This is another addition to the Dragon family here in Duel Links. It's a 5-star water attribute as well. 1800 attack, 2200 defense. When your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can discard one card, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. You can only there can only be one Dragon Ice on the field. Now, what's so cool about this is if your opponent special summoning, which is nearly all the meta right now, Anki decks special summon, Sylvan decks special summon, especially with Rose Lover. What else we have right now currently in the meta? Cyber Angels, nothing but special summoning, basically. So, hell, even Mako Golden Flying Fish, special summon. Even Whale Deck, special summon. Archfiend, special summon. So, are you going to get Dragon Ice off a lot in PvP right now? Of course you are. So, this card's going to be a really good blocker. And, he's going to have 1800 attack, which is good. But that 2200 defense could come in clutch, especially if you have any kind of back row to further help this guy. And just discarding to get this guy out of the grave or from your hand is not that high of a cost for a good 2200 defense blocker. So, very, very cool card. I'm also going to give this guy a 4 out of 5. I'm really liking some of the new Dragon support coming. It's just funny that the Dragon support that's coming that's good is water attribute. I just think that was pretty interesting. Nice, Yui. I'm glad, bro. Alright, so we got Blizzard Princess. Now, Blizzard Princess is also a double tribute, but it has a really cool effect to make that a little less. It's a water attribute as well. Spellcaster, 2800 attack, 2100 defense. Pretty solid stats for a double tribute monster. You can tribute summon this card in face-up attack position by tributing one spellcaster type monster. Now, that's really nice because it takes the double tribute cost to a 1 tribute cost in a spellcaster deck. And if you're running, again, Power of Dark, 3000 attack, 2300 defense. Now, I keep saying Power of Dark a lot, but that's because I feel like Power of Dark might actually make a resurgence in the current meta because of all this new spellcaster support that we are getting. I feel that getting that extra 200 attack and defense could be clutch for a lot of people, and it's glad to be able to see some old skills being basically have a resurgence in the meta. after all this time. So really, really cool there. After this card was normal summon, your opponent cannot activate spell trap cards for the rest of that turn. Now that is huge. Now, I very rarely, now listen to me when I say this, I very rarely, if at all, ever give a card a 5 out of 5 rating. However, being able to possibly put out a 2800 to 3000 attack monster easily, especially if you run Fiend Jester in a spellcaster deck, right? So you can get her off in the same turn without the use of double summon or rival rivals, right? And you also shut down your opponent's spell and trap cards for the rest of the turn. I have to say, this may be one of our very few, if not our first, I can't recall, 5 out of 5s that have ever given any card so far since we started doing these live box set reviews. Yeah, but yeah, I have to say this card is closest to we've ever had a 5 as I think I've seen so far in the last few box. I mean, that is such a huge effect. Now, of course, they could try and shut you down on the initial summon, but if they can't, it's a 5 out of 5 for me. Otherwise, it's still a 4.5. It's an amazing card. This might be one of the most quality SRs I've seen in a long time. I'm actually very excited about running spellcasters now because of Blizzard Princess. Very excited. Yep, that's exactly right, Michael. But if you can get beyond that initial thing, whew, talking about amazing. Anti-magical arrows on legs, that's great. Oh, man. Anyways, guys, going to some more SRs here. We got some more spellcaster support, which you'll see a lot of in this box set. We have Spellbook, Magician of Prophecy, 2-star water attribute, spellcaster effect, 500 attack, 400 defense. When this card is normal summoned or flip face up, add 1 Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. Now that is some serious draw power, which you guys will notice during the review of this box set. Spellbook cards have insane draw power. You guys thought Bamboo was bad? Wait till you see what Spellbook can do with Magician decks. And I cannot wait to run. Like, I don't know how long it would take before they might start nerfing some of the lower tier Spellbook cards, like the lower rarity, because I feel like that probably will come, because Spellbooks are just crazy good draw power, because since they did it to Bamboo, I think they will hit Spellbook, unfortunately. But before they do that, I need to run my Spellbook Cerberus farm deck. It needs to happen, period. But anyways, very, very good card. It allows you to get some search power. You know, lets you get the engine going for draw power. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 4 out of 5. Not a bad card at all. It's only there basically for to get the engine going. It's not really there for anything else. Yo, what's up, Vish? Alright, we got Mage Power. Now, a lot of people were excited about this equipped spell card. The equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense for each spell trap card you control. So if you're running a field spell deck, like Power of Dark, which we keep saying a lot lately today, you're going to gain an additional 500 attack and defense. Now, this card counts for itself as well. So this card, if this is the only card in your back row, you're still going to get 500 defense and 500 attack because it does count itself. Now, if you have a field spell, that's going to go up to 1,000 attack and a defense with no kind of life point drain like some of the other cards we have in a game right now, like Axe of Fools, for example. You won't have that kind of negative impact on yourself. So this card is really, really good. This is one of the better equipped spell cards in the game right now, as of me reviewing this video. So when this does drop, this will instantly be one of the best equipped spells that we have so far in the game. Very, very good. 4 out of 5 for me. I'm really liking this mini box. It seems like it's doing a lot of work right now with making some of the older meta again, if not trying to make them at least playable. Alright, Spellbook of Secrets. Another SR here. Another Spellbook card as well. Add 1 Spellbook card from your deck to your hand, except Spellbook of Secrets. You can only activate 1 Spellbook of Secrets per turn. So more, basically just to start the engine, get that initial draw power. And like I said, I cannot wait to I want to make the Spellbook Cerberus deck so bad before they potentially nerf the lower tier Spellbook cards. I really, really want to make that deck because I think that'd be a lot of fun. And super fast draw power would just make for a quick farm. Alright, Spellbook of Life. Now, this is an equip spell card. Banish one spellcaster type monster from your graveyard and reveal one other spellbook spell card in your hand to target one spellcaster type monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face-up attack position and equip it with this card. The equipped monster's level is increased by the level of the monster that was banished. For this card's activation, you can only activate one spellbook of life per turn. Now, what is cool about this? This allows you to potentially bring out some of your better spellcasters that you've already lost earlier in the duel, or some of the ones that you've used for tribute or are used as a way to bring out, like for example in the Tricky, how you have to discard a card to the graveyard. Well, you now have a card in the graveyard, plus you special summon a monster, the Tricky, and then you can normal summon another monster and send that monster to the grave with Spellbook of Life to bring out that strong spellcaster that you sent there earlier in the turn for a possible OTK. Now, Magicians are looking lit. I'm not going to lie. I'm always a big fan of spellcasters. You know, I was a very big advocate for bringing in more support for Gravekeepers because I loved that archetype. I love that deck. I've spent a lot of time building that deck up, and to see cards like this coming in to possibly bringing a little bit of support to Gravekeepers indirectly, Dark Magician decks, other spellcasters that we got recently like the Tricky and stuff like that, I'm actually pretty legitimately excited for spellcasters going forward right now. I'm glad to see a meta that's not blow up your back row, blow up your monster zone by clicking OK, aka the Sylvans. So I'm very, very happy about that, honestly. You know, all the other problems going on right now in the game, in the Duel Links community, this at least is something bright to appreciate and be happy for, is the resurgence of spellcasters in Duel Links. So another, I'd say this one's still a 4 out of 5 because of the combos that you can set up with. I actually like that. Yep, so, yep, very good, very good. We're going to see a lot of spellcasters in the meta soon, and I'm actually kind of excited for that. Tribute Burial. You cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. Once during this turn, you can conduct a tribute summon that requires 2 tributes by banishing one monster from each graveyard. Instead of tributing, it is still treated as a tribute summon. Now, what's interesting about this card is you can actually use your opponent as a way to help you get out your big beater monsters, which is hilarious. I actually like this card. This card is actually kind of tilty, and I can see this card tilting a lot of people, especially if you're banishing certain cards out of other decks' graveyards that they need those monsters to stay in their graveyard, like Rose Lover, for example, or even Archfiend, Lord of Horror, you know, the Archfiend deck with Lord of Horror and stuff like that. This could be very tilty to a lot of players and allowing you to basically use their resources to help you getting monsters out. And I also discussed something interesting. Angel 7, which if he had an easy way to be summoned in the game, he'd actually be meta. Well, guess what, guys? Angel 7 can still get his effect off because he is technically being tribute summoned using Tribute Burial, and you only need to use cards from your graveyard and your opponents. Now, that could be something very interesting seeing moving forward. Very, very cool card. Another 4 out of 5. This is probably some of the best batch of SRs and URs we've had in one box set, honestly. I mean, this is a very, very strong box set. I actually do like it. And that it's a mini box set, it's really good for free-to-play players and players that do pay for the game because you're getting a lot of value from these mini boxes. I've always said the mini boxes were always really, really good because you could go through them a lot faster and get some of the cards that you need a lot quicker because there's so much less cards in the box. All right, here we go, guys. Going to the next card. Yep, you can banish the Rose Lover and the Carrot. Get them damn Sylvan players, right? All right, Treacherous Trap Hole. If you have no trap cards in your graveyard, target 2 monsters in the field, destroy those targets. Now, this is really, really crazy because if you get this card early game, or if you run this card with Endless Trap Hell, you can take all the traps out of your graveyard and reuse Treacherous Trap Hole more than one time in a duel. Now, that is deadly. Guys, do not sleep on this card. This card in an Odeon Endless Trap Hell deck is going to be tilty. I mean very tilty. Do not be surprised if you see a few Odeons on the ladder playing a Treacherous Trap Hole and they tilt the shit out of you. I'm going to give this card a 3.5 because it is definitely situational. But like I said, in that particular deck with that skill, it could be deadly because you can now reuse this more than one time. And if you run a deck that also allows you to banish traps out of your graveyard or any cards out of your graveyard, this card will also be pretty cool in that deck as well. So really, really cool card. It could be tilty as all hell. Alright, we have finally got out of the SRs and URs, and oh my goodness, were they a good bunch of cards to go through as well. We are now entering the rares. Oh my. Sylvans will play this. You're right, they might, Evo. They might. Honestly, they might. Yeah, probably don't want to, Yui. Unless you're running Endless Trap Hell, I would not run probably more than one of that card. Sylvan's more OP. Anyway, so we got Gemini Elf. This isn't Toon Gemini Elf, but this is Gemini Elf. We already know about the Toon Gemini Elf situation. This is a Spellcaster 1900 beater. Now, why is this card good? Because I believe this is the first 1900 vanilla beater that we have for Spellcasters. So this means that Fiend Jester, for example, now has a new target to grab out of the deck that actually has pretty good attack. If you put this in a Power of Dark, again, I know we've brought that up a lot, but I mean, it is Spellcaster Day here, apparently, with this new box set. This is a 2100 beater in a Power of Dark deck, and Fiend Jester can actually search this out. You can even use Blue Dragon Summoner, though I still feel that Fiend Jester is going to be used a lot more than Blue Dragon Summoner, unless you're running a Dragon deck, which you may see those thanks to the new Dragon support we have in this box. Anyways, very, very good card. I'm going to give this, since it's a really good 1900 beater, and it's a vanilla, so it can be searched out with Fiend, and I think Jester will be used more recently. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Not a bad beater at all. Good beat stick. Alright, so we got Ice Master, Water Attribute, Double Tribute, 2500 attack, 2000 defense, Spellcaster. You can special summon this card from your hand by attributing 2 water monsters. Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster on the field, place an ice counter on that target. You contribute this card, destroy all monsters with ice counters. Now, that's going to be very, very situational, but could also be a really cool, I guess you could call it a fun deck. Like a fun content deck, I guess you could call it. It's not going to be anything special. Like the other Spellcaster support we got are way better, but it still could be pretty interesting. And it does allow you to have the option of, you know, just teching in maybe one. Like, maybe run one Ice Master in a water deck. Maybe. Just, like, tech in one. And it'd be very unexpected to your opponent. Like, they're going to see, like, a Mako fish deck, right? They're going to see Golden Flying Fish. And then next thing you know, boom, you pop out an Ice Master. And they're like, what the nani? Because if you think about it, Oyster Meister does make a token of himself. So, if you do Econ Take, grab an opponent's monster, right? Say they have 2 on the field. You can grab an opponent's monster, bring it to your side of the field. You'll create an Oyster Meister token. Use that token and whatever other monster you have, or even their monster yourself, and you can just tribute those off. Or you could special summon it by using the Oyster Meister token and another water monster you control, special summon it, and then summon another monster, and then you now have a possible OTK. So, I mean, this card could see some play, honestly. You might see this teched in maybe as a one-of in some water decks. I mean, not a bad card, honestly. I'll give it a I'll give it a 3 out of 5, honestly, because it is situational, but it could be really, really clutch, and it could create a possible OTK scenario with a water deck. Yep. Yo, what's up, Daniel? Alright, so we got Ice Queen. Another double tribute, 2900 attack, 2100 defense, water attribute, spellcaster effect. Cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. When this face-up card you control is destroyed and sent to your graveyard, you can target one spell card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. You must have 3 or more spellcaster type monsters in your graveyard to activate and resolve this effect. Now this one is really, really situational, and it does not offer any kind of special summoning mechanic from the graveyard, which is unfortunate because I think spellcasters are going to be doing a lot of that graveyard special summoning, and this card can't do that. So I don't think it really fits the mold of the new style of spellcasters that a lot of us are going to be building. So I don't really like this one, honestly. Yeah, the art is definitely amazing. It's like an ice. I mean, she's got like the Ice Queen aspect. Like I can see the name matching with the art, but she also got like some kind of like an angelic kind of design. Like, she feels like she's like some kind of deity or something. Pretty cool. More waifus. But yeah, this one's more like a 2.5 for me. It doesn't seem as great as the last one that we just talked about. Like Ice Master, really, really cool. But Ice Queen, I don't think she's as good. Yeah, if only you could special summon it, absolutely. Gusto, Thunbolt. Now, there's a lot of gusto in this box set, which is really, really funny. 4-star wind attribute, thunder effects. We're getting some more thunder up in this game. At the end of the battle phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard this turn, you can banish one Gusto monster from your graveyard. Special summon one wind psychic type monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck. Now, this is very interesting because if you have a really beat stick wind psychic type monster that has 1500 defense but really high attack, you can special summon that monster. So you might start seeing a good bit of wind psychic decks running Gusto. So you might see like the hybrid deck there, and it could be pretty cool. It could be pretty cool. I'm actually interested to see what people are going to come up with the Gusto slash wind psychic deck. It's going to be pretty interesting. We might be able to bring psychics back, guys. Like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. So, pretty cool card, 3 out of 5. I love cards that search out and give you draw power. I mean, it's perfect, and it lets you special summon as well. Those cards are always good in this game. So, definitely gonna give that a 3 out of 5. Morning. What's up, Star? What's up? Gusto have potential. They do indeed, Eagle. They do indeed. Reese, Whirlwind of Gusto, 5-star, wind attribute, psychic effect. Now, this is one of the psychics I was just talking about. 1900 beater, 1400 defense. Once per turn, you can return one card from your hand to the bottom of the deck to target one monster your opponent controls and one face-up Gusto monster you control. Switch control of both monsters. Now, that is amazing. It's basically a free econ take without econ take, if that makes sense for you guys. You're basically giving the control of one of your monsters to them, and you're taking control of theirs. And of course, most of your Gusto monsters that you have face up, maybe it's going to be like a really weak attack, like a really low attack one, and they might have like a high beat stick on the field, maybe even with a good effect that you can use, and you can go ahead and do that. So, I mean, really cool things. I do see Gusto actually being a really... I think Gusto could be another really good free-to-play meta. I mean, we'll have to see when we start building some decks, but do not be surprised, and you heard it here first, Gusto could be the next coming of another free-to-play meta, which we've had so many of in the last couple box sets. Do not be surprised if Gusto Psychics do become a new free-to-play meta. Do not be surprised. So don't sleep on Gusto, guys. Do not sleep on them. Yo, what's up, JR? How's it going, bro? Sorry if I'm not getting through all your guys' messages. Alright, we got Gusto Griffin. 2-star wind attribute, winged beast effect, 800 attack, 300 defense. If this card is sent from the hand to your graveyard, you can special summon one Gusto monster from your deck. You can only use the effect of Gusto Griffin once per turn. So much special summoning in Gustos that I feel like this could be possibly a very strong OTK deck. Because just from the few cards we've already discussed, there's so much special summoning involved. By the way, that card, the last card we had, was a 3.5 out of 5. I do apologize for not giving it a rating. Wow. So if this card is sent from the hand to your graveyard, like, the special summoning mechanics that you can pull off in a single turn with just a few Gustos we talked about is very, very intense. Could be a very strong OTK deck, not gonna lie. So really, really cool. Another 3 out of 5 here for this Gusto Griffin. I'm really liking these Gustos so far. Gusto Griffin, last gamble potential. Yep. I'm just excited for the White Knight Dragon, Monster Reincarnation, or Tribute to the Doomed. Yep, all kinds of things you guys can do. It's crazy. Alright. Charioteer of Prophecy, 4-star wind attribute, spellcaster effect, 1800 beater with a 1300 defense. Once per turn, you can discard one Spellbook spell card to target one spellcaster type monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. So again, more spellcaster support, more Spellbook support. I mean, this this box set has so much potential. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. This is definitely a really, really good new mini box set. I have to say, I don't usually do this often, but I do have to give Konami some credit here when they do deserve it. And I do have to say that the last 3 box sets actually have been extremely good. My only worry is that each box set is so good that it's actually making the one previous to it kind of outdated too fast. I think when we had multiple box sets in a row that were not very good, the meta didn't change that often. So a lot of people were able to make use of their decks that they had for a longer period of time, making it more worthy of the investment. But now these box sets have all been so good, which is also a good thing, but it's also a bad thing at the same time because it kind of makes the last meta kind of get outshined or outdated very quickly, making your investment not worth as much. Even though the boxes themselves are good, it's not good for the overall game. So it's like, I'm kind of in a confliction right now because I love this box set, but I also feel that this box set can make a few changes in the current meta, possibly even making a couple of the ones stronger though. So we will have to really see how the shakeup goes. But yeah, these box sets lately have been just on fire. But like I said, that could also be a bad thing. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. But this is another nice 1800 beat stick spellcast. So I'll give this one a 2.5, maybe 3 out of 5 for that as well. Yep. I can already tell Spellbook is going to be pay to win. Gusto has the swarming potential to be high tier 2. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of, they're going to have definitely a lot of swarming potential. All that special summoning mechanics they have, pretty crazy. Alright, Justice of Prophecy, 3-star Earth attribute, 1600 attack, 800 defense, spellcaster effect. During your end phase, if you have activated a Spellbook spell card previously this turn, you can banish this card from the field, add both 1 level 5 or higher light or dark spellcaster type monster and 1 spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Justice of Prophecy once per turn. So that is clutch. That's a lot of draw power. That's a lot of search power. I like it. 3 out of 5, definitely. Like this spellbook, you can actually make a budget spellbook deck and it still be pretty damn good. I mean, we've had a good bit of rare spellcaster and spellbook support cards already in this box, and some of the other ones are SRs. So I mean, it's honestly, besides needing maybe the tricky for some really tricky plays, haha, the pun there, probably a terrible pun, but I think it's a very manageable budget, if not semi free-to-play deck. Honestly, I don't think spellbooks are actually going to be that pricey. Alright, Prophecy Destroyer, single tribute, dark attribute, spellcaster effect, 2500 attack, 1200 defense. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 3 spellbook spell cards from your graveyard, special summon this card from your graveyard. Wow. So this card works with this card, and he can special summon himself from the graveyard by banishing 3 spellbook spell cards from your graveyard, which will not be hard to do because you will be flying through that deck so fast because the draw power is insane. So getting this guy on the field will not be that hard. And again, in a Power of Dark deck, this guy will be 2700 attack, 1400 defense, a 2700 beat stick that you can special summon. I mean, the Spellbook and Spellcaster deck just looks completely amazing right now. It looks like top to bottom, it's going to be stacked in with so many cards. You're actually going to have so many cards that you're actually going to have to sit there and take some. You're going to actually have to leave some good cards out just to make the deck because there's so many good options right now. And to me, that's a good thing because you know what that means? That means everybody's spellcaster deck will not look the same as the next. It won't be a freaking copy-paste meta. It'll be everybody will be running spellcaster spellbook, but everybody will have so many different builds that'll actually make it a little bit more unique to itself than some of the previous meta where everybody was running literally the same type of deck with the same build over and over and over again. At least with this deck, it looks like we're going to have so many options, good options, that a lot of people is going to have to sit there and actually think about what kind of deck they want to build with it because there is so many options, and I like that. I think the game needs to go that route. and continue that route, because a more diverse and more variety of a meta, especially if people are using a similar archetype but with different options, that's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. That's how the game gets back up on its feet and goes forward and not backward. I actually like the fact that we have a lot of good options right now when it comes to spellcaster decks with Spellbook. Very, very cool. By the way, that was a 3 out of 5 as well, guys. Free to play Gusto. Gusto is going to be good. It will be good. Ric Flair will make everyone's mother go woo, woo, woo. Daniel, what the fuck? Alright, Reaper of Prophecy, guys. Holy crap. It's going to be hard to read that. That is really small text there. Hold on, guys. Alright. 6-star, Dark Attribute, Reaper of Prophecy, Spellcaster effect, 2000 attack, 1600 defense. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate this effect. Yeah. Apply as many effects as possible based on the number of Spellbook spell cards with different names in your graveyard. You can only use the effect of Reaper of Prophecy once per turn. 3 or more. This card gains 600 attack, so it become a 2600 beater, 28 beater, you know, whatever, depending on what kind of skill you're running, what kind of field spell you have on the field. 4 or more. Add 1 Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. That's awesome. 5 or more. Special summon 1 level 5 or higher dark spellcaster type monster from your deck. Oh my god. Like with the draw power you're going to have with Spellbooks, getting a lot of these effects off would normally seem like, oh my, you're barely going to ever get that off. But with Spellbook having so much draw power, with all the Spellbook monsters having all so much draw and search power, you're going to get a lot of these effects off pretty easily. And that's what makes these cards so deadly. Even these rares, you could literally make a budget Spellbook deck with just the rares alone. I mean, the rare cards alone are good. I'm not going to lie. You have possibly 2 free-to-play metas coming out of this box set. Spellbooks and Gusto. And, like, that's awesome. That's good for the free-to-play players, definitely. Wow. So, wow, you can make this boy a 2600 beater, search out a Spellbook, and special summon a high-level monster all in one turn with 1 card. That is insane. I'm going to give this boy another 3 out of 5. I mean, holy crap. Holy crap. 30-card Spellbook deck incoming. You might be right, Evo. You might be right. Soldier Dragons, 2-star Earth Attribute, Dragon Effect, 700 attack, 800 defense, once per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower dragon monster from your deck. That's not bad, actually. I mean, that gives you a little bit of, it gives you more, I guess you could say it gives you a little bit more options. Kid Moto is level 2, right? Level 2 or 3. I can't remember. Somebody quickly let me know. I'm having a brain fart right now. What level is Kid Moto? What level is Kid Moto? This could be a really good setup for Kid Moto. The game is... Kid Moto's level 2? That's what I thought. So, this card with Kid Moto, these guys are best friends. Yep. So, this guy is best friends with Kid Moto. Is it 3 or is it 2? I'm seeing a lot of 2s and 1 3, so I'm assuming that it's a 2. Alright, cool. So, yeah, Soldier Dragon with Kid Moto would be actually really, really good. Wow. Yeah, that could be a really cool combo, actually. Soldier Dragon into a Kid Moto and then get into one of your big beaters and getting those Kid Motos out of your deck. Oh, man. Yeah, it could be. I could see the play. I googled it. It is 3. Is it 3? Alright, well then never mind, guys. Never mind. Chat misplay. It's the chat misplay. Alright, guys. But we got it. We got it solved now. The good old power of Google. It can solve anything. Google knows the answer to life. Go look it up. I'm not kidding. So unfortunately that play won't work then. But still, the idea was there. But still, it could still offer a little something. Not nothing good now. But hey. It's a 2.5 out of 5. I mean, it could have some stall value there. Chat misplay. Yep, the answer to life is 42. Yui, you're right. Alright guys, so we got some more Spellbook cards here in the rarity. We have Spellbook of Power. Target one spellcaster type monster you control until the end phase. It gains 1,000 attack. Also, until the end phase, each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add one Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. Like, not it. Spellbooks are so good. Spellbooks are so good. Oh my god. How I have longed for the day to get Spellbooks in the game because I wanted to make my Cerberus farm deck just super turbo fast. And when Bamboo came out, I was excited for my Cerberus farm deck, but then of course they had to nerf it because of the PvP shenanigans with Taya, because Taya ruins everything. Taya needs to be banished from this game. Who agrees? Let's just banish Taya. Who cares? We don't need her. She's nothing but cancer. But yeah, so Spellbook Power. I mean, I think every Spellbook card in this deck or in this box, I'll probably be giving it a 3 rating or higher because it's all so good. So again, that's another 3 for sure. That free 1,000 boost and draw power, like, oh my. All right, Spellbook of Fate, quick play spell. If you control a spellcaster type monster, you can banish up to 3 Spellbook spell cards from your graveyard. Apply this effect depending on the number of spell cards banished. For this card's activation, you can only activate 1 Spellbook of Fate per turn. 1. Return 1 set spell or trap card on the field to the hand. 2. Change 1 monster on the field to face down defense position or face up attack position. 3. Banish 1 card your opponent controls. Now, that being as a quick play is really, really clutch because then that lets you set up some plays like that on your opponent's turn, which could be really, really, really good. Especially if they summon like a high-level monster and you know you can't deal with it. Boom! You pop this card and banish that card that your opponent controls and be done with it. And the fact that it gets banished and it's not targeting, I believe, you can actually even use this on Hazy. So that's really, really good. Another 3 out of 5 for me. Nah, Duel Links isn't, like, I'm not going to go into that on a review. If you guys want my opinion on that whole situation, I made a video about that with, it was titled The State of Duel Links, and then I made a petition video. So, if you guys want to know my thoughts on that, I don't want to get into that on a review video. Spellbook Library of the Crescent. If you have no Spellbook spell cards in your graveyard, reveal 3 Spellbook spell cards with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly adds one of them to your hand and shuffles the rest back into your deck. You can only activate 1 Spellbook Library of the Crescent per turn. You cannot activate any spell cards the turn you activate this card except Spellbook spell cards. Now, the only thing that I have a problem with this Spellbook over a lot of the other ones is this one can only be activated if you have no Spellbook cards. Spellbook spell cards, holy crap, that's a tongue twister, in your graveyard. So you'd probably want to use this early game or wait to use one of your other monster effects that allow you to banish your Spellbook cards from your graveyard to use their effects. If you get either of those combinations off, then you'll be able to use this card very easily. I don't think you'd want to run 3 of these because of that, unless you're really wanting to try and get into this early, which I guess I could understand that. And then use like the other one as like maybe storm fodder. I mean, you could, or something like that, or discard fodder maybe. But I think with this one, I think the magic number for this one, you probably only want to run 2. Because if you do, at some situations, get this card not early and you already got a card in your graveyard and you got no way to banish it, this is going to be a dead card to you. So I would say the sweet spot with this card may be 2. But like I said, if you're trying to go for 3, I can understand that aspect as well. Yep. I don't think I'd go beyond 2. And yeah, you're probably right, Evo. 1 of is probably best, but I know some people might try to run 3 to get it early, which I can also understand. But it could be bricky, so be careful. I'll give this one a 2.5. This is probably the only one I think that may dip below 3 just because of how useful and unuseful it could be. Creeping Doom Manta. We have now jumped into the normals. We'll now no longer be giving ratings to cards. We stop after the rares. So Whew. Alright guys, so we're going to go through these now pretty quick because these are the normals. If we see anything that jumps out that looks like, holy crap, that could be good, we will stop and talk about it. But from here on out, it might go pretty quick. So if you guys got through all the cards you wanted to hear about, you guys can go ahead and leave the video now. That's fine. But if you're going to stick around, I do appreciate that as well. Let's go ahead and get through them. So, we have Creeping Doom Manta, Water Attribute, 3-star, Fish Effect. When this card is normal summoned successfully, no trap cards can be activated. 1300 attack, 12 defense. Nothing special there. Remember, those traps are only not affected or activated when it's summoned. That's it. It doesn't stop them for the turn. Your opponent can still hit you with the traps that turn, just not when that monster is initially summoned. Alright. Cold Enchanter, 4-star, Water Attribute. Aqua Effect, 1600 attack, 1200 defense. You can discard one card to target one face-up monster on the field. Place an ice counter on that target. This card gains 300 attack for each ice counter on the field. Now, the whole counter meta, besides spellcasters, I was never really liking it so far. Like, we've had Snow Dragon and stuff like that before. You know, Snow Dust Dragon or whatever. And it's like, that never really took off. And I feel like this is going to be about the same thing. I think this is going to be the same problem. Because these cards just don't have enough effects to keep themselves on the field long enough, and they get killed off very quickly. But I mean, we'll see. But I mean, I don't know. These counter metas just never seem to really have taken off yet in Duel Links. But we'll see. Maybe things will change. But we'll see. Cam, Serenity of Gusto. 4-star, Wind Attribute, 1700 attack, 1100 defense, Psychic Effect. Once per turn, you can shuffle 2 Gusto monsters from your graveyard into the main deck, draw 1 card. Now, this card probably will be used in the Gusto deck, so we will sit here and talk about it for a moment. All you gotta do is shuffle 2 Gusto monsters from your graveyard into the main deck, draw 1 card. So you get a free draw off. That's really, really good. And remember, since these are Psychic-type monsters, they can use Psychokinesis, so don't worry. You will be able to use those cheese plays in a Gusto deck. Do not worry about that. And it's a 1700 beater, so it's a good little beat stick to put on the field. And if you're running this with Bastion, of course, you're going to gain 500 more attack. So, 2,000 beater plus right there. What do you guys saying here? Let's see. Who wouldn't stay with their best mate? Josh, a.k.a. what? What do you mean? Did I miss the conversation? Yeah, it's going pretty good. Blast, how's your day going? You got 3 UR in 1 pack? What? Code is OP. Duel Links will end in 2020. Is that when the world ends? Anyway, Windar, Sage of Gusto, 6-star Wind Attribute, Psychic Effect as well. 2,000 attack, 1,000 defense, which this card can be special summoned from your deck with the other Gusto monsters that we talked about earlier in today's video. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can target 1 level 3 or lower Gusto monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target and face-up defense. So this card might actually be used quite a bit in that Gusto deck as well, because it's one of those targets that you can actually special summon from your deck because it does have less than 1500 defense. So this could be a really good card too that you see. Like I said, don't sleep on the Gusto meta. It could be a thing. Very budget friendly as well. Free to play friendly, whatever. Don't sleep on the Gusto, man. Don't sleep on the Gusto. Alright. Now we have Musto, Oracle of Gusto. Why do I like this guy's name? Why is this guy like instantly my favorite card in the game right now? Because of his name. Musto, Oracle of Gusto. Like, I just want to say that all day. Okay, I'm going to stop. 4-star, Wind Attribute. Psychic Effect, 1800 attack, 900 defense. Once per turn, you can target 1 Gusto monster in your graveyard and 1 face-up monster on the field. Shuffle the first target into the deck, and if you do, negate the second target's effect until the end phase. What the nani? Oh my god, very cool. I'm liking these Gustos so much. I can't wait to run the deck. It's very free to play friendly too. Oh my goodness. Alright. Gusto Cador. 3-star Wind Attribute, Wing Beast Effect, 1000 attack, 400 defense. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Wind Psychic type monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck. So this helps bring out the other Wing Beast, which helps bring out your 1500 or less Psychic type monsters on the defense side of things anyway. Wow. Just Gusto me Gusto, baby. Master of the Flaming Dragon Sword. Pretty cool name. 4-star fire attribute. Warrior effect. 1800 attack, 1200 defense. Now, what's interesting about this guy is Blue Flame Swordsman can actually special summon this guy from the graveyard because he is a fire warrior. When a monster is normal summoned to your side of the field, except Master of the Flaming Dragon Swords, you can increase that monster's level by 1 in its attack. Ooh. Ooh. Possible beatdown card? Ooh. Okay, hold up. Let's talk about this guy for a minute. So this guy can increase your monster's level by 1 and increase its attack by 300. Oh, its attack increases by 300 until the end phase. You could technically activate Beatdown with this guy. You can make the other monster that you summon a 5-star and then activate Beatdown. And this guy already gave himself a free 300 boost already, and he's going to get another one, another what, 600? No, 3. He'll get another 300 from Beatdown. So, ooh. That could be very interesting. This guy could be very interesting. We may have to come back to this guy at a later date. We may see this guy running around in the game. Possible beatdown trigger right there. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And imagine this guy in a Joey Wheeler deck. He's already over a 2,000 beater as it is. Oh, run 2 Blue Flame Swordsman with this guy. Oh, I got the deck built in my head. Oh my god. Now I gotta get Joey to level 45. Fuck my life. I'm still going for my Amazoness Queen first, though. Then I might go for Blue Flame Swordsman. We'll see. That seems very interesting. If you guys see that deck list running around, you heard it here first from your boy Anime. Strength of Prophecy. 4-star fire attribute. Spellcaster effect. 1500 attack. 4-star 1400 defense. Oh my goodness. Once per turn, you can shuffle 1 Spellbook spell card from your graveyard into your deck to target 1 face of Spellcaster type monster on the field. Increase its level by 1 and its attack by 500. So this is another possible way to trigger Beatdown. Like, wow, that's 2 cards in a row. It's kind of funny that they put them next to each other. Is that a coincidence, Konami? Is that a coincidence? Both these can activate Beatdown skill. Wow. Wow. The only thing I like about this card that actually might be a little bit better than this one. The only thing is, here's the funny thing about these 2 cards though. This one will actually work in a Beatdown Warrior deck to perfection. Unfortunately, you can't use Beatdown with Joy's skill. You'd have to use one or the other. But still, it's pretty cool. However, this one's skill is better. This one has a better effect because it's permanent. However, you're probably not going to run spellcasters in a beatdown deck, especially if you're running Spellbook. But then again, you never know, because this would be the only card that really would trigger that. So I don't know if you would do that. I still think this one's better because you can bring this one back from the grave with Blue Flame Swordsman. If he goes down, you can bring this guy back out. So I think I kind of like this guy still more than this, but still the possibility is there. But I do like that permanent increase in level in attack, so you never know. Alright, Full of Prophecy. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. 3-star Earth attribute, 1600 attack, 900 defense, spellcaster effect. Once per turn, you can send 1 Spellbook spell card from your deck to the graveyard. During the end phase of the turn this card activated this effect, you contribute this card, special summon 1 level 5 or higher dark spellcaster type monster from your deck. You must have 5 or more Spellbook spell cards with different names in your graveyard to activate. So I don't really like this one that much because this one is like super duper 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 situational. You know, I mean, like, getting Spellbooks into your grave is easy enough, but getting 5 different ones, that's going to be a little bit steep. I don't know. I don't know if I don't like this one as much. What are you guys saying? Let's see. Hello, how are you? How you doing, Destiny? You guys are coming in at the tail end. We're almost done here. I just want to type. What do you mean, Michael? What's going on? All right, back to the video here. Wheel of Prophecy, Dark, double attribute. Dark attribute, double tribute. Oh my Lanta. Spellcaster effect, 2700 attack, 1700 defense. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a spellcaster type monster, you can target any number of your banished spellbook spell cards, shuffle them into the deck, and if you do, return your other banished spellbook spell cards to your graveyard. You can only use the effect of Wheel of Prophecy once per turn. Now, what's really cool about Wheel of Prophecy is he can be easily special summoned to the field with the other with another spellcaster, which would activate its effect, bring back some of your banished spellbooks that you use for other activations during the duel, put them in the graveyard, which then also allows you to activate other cards that require that. So it's like, this guy could be sneakily good. I would probably run one. I don't think I'd want to test fate and run 2 or 3 of this in a deck, but possibly teching in one Wheel of Prophecy will not be bad. Now, this is keeping in mind that you're running a budget spellbook deck. This is stating that you don't have 3 trickies, you don't have, all the Dark Magician support, you haven't leveled up all your Arcanas and your Yami Yugi to get all that crap. You're taking this strictly from a budget build. If you're running a budget build spellbook deck, like fully free to play as possible, you're probably going to want to run one Wheel of Prophecy. Alright, we got Tricky Spell 4 coming up. Quick play. Yo, Impact, when are you going to do a face reveal, bro? I've already done one a long time ago, Blast. And I did one recently on the Discord. I already have a video up. A lot of people don't remember that, but I have a video up. Just Google, just search it here on the channel. Tricky Spell 4, my beard's a lot more trimmed down now, and I got a little bit longer hair. But more or less the same. Tricky Spell 4, quick play spell, send one face up the Tricky you control to the graveyard, special summon Tricky token, spellcaster type, wind, level 5, attack 2000, defense 1200, in defense position equal to the number of monsters your opponent controls. Tricky tokens cannot declare an attack. They may not be able to declare an attack, but hot damn. 2000 attack just chilling on the field, bro? Wow. Wow. The only thing that sucks is you can only use this card with one monster at the moment, but holy shit, man. Imagine they're getting ready to econ take your Tricky. They're getting ready to blow up your Tricky with some kind of an effect or a monster overpowering it. And then you just pop this bad boy. Boom! Instant. Tokens. 2000 attack on the field equal to the number your opponent of monsters your opponent controls. That is nuts. Like, that could be a sneaky good spell card to tech in, just like a one tech in. But I'd probably run this if you have multiple of the Trickies, like 3 Trickies. Like, say a good ratio would probably be 3 the Tricky and 1 Tricky Spell 4. I don't think if you have 3 the Tricky, I don't think you'd run Tricky Spell 4 because it could be a dead card to you. So I don't know. I think if you have 3 of the Trickies, like if you go all out and you get 3 of the UR, run one of these. I mean, that is not a bad card, honestly. It's a good stall card. And it could be good for tributes for next turn. Mage Cancer. Yep. Anyone play Jack and Daxter on PS2? Oh god, that's some old day stuff. Contact with Gusto. Target 2 Gusto monsters in your graveyard and 1 card your opponent controls. Shuffle both targets in your graveyard into the deck, then destroy the opponent's target. That is sneakily good. That is sneakily good. The only thing is you got a target. So if you're playing against Hazy, this card won't do you no good. But, wow, that is sneakily good. Contact with, my god, Gusto just looks so much fun. I can't wait to play Gusto. Gusto me Gusto, baby. Spellbook of Eternity. Target one of your banished Spellbook spell cards except Spellbook of Eternity. Add that target to your hand. You can only activate 1 Spellbook of Eternity per turn. Now that's actually not a bad card too, because it allows you to reuse a Spellbook that you've already used earlier in the duel, and allows you to put another Spellbook card in the graveyard to still activate Spellbook cards, Spellbook monsters that you need to activate. Whew, we have said Spellbook probably a record-breaking amount of times in today's video. Holy crap. I wonder what the record is for saying Spellbook in 1 hour. I don't know if we're close or not. We'll have to get out the Guinness World Records, man. But yeah, another good spellbook card. Spellbook Library of the Heliosphere. Oh god, a paragraph long. Paragraph long effect here. If you have 5 or more spellbook spell cards in your graveyard, which is going to be it's not as bad as having 5 different ones, so it's not too bad. Excavate the top 2 cards of your deck. Add any excavated spellbook spell cards to your hand and shuffle the other cards into the deck. So you're not losing anything from that. You can only activate 1 Spellbook Library of Heliosphere per turn. You cannot activate any spell cards this turn. You activate this card except Spellbook spell cards. So really, really cool there. It could be a way to pick up some additional Spellbook cards in your hand that you need early. And again, putting another Spellbook card in your graveyard to activate other effects. Spellbook of the Master. Holy crap, there's a lot of Spellbook cards in this box. If you control a spellcaster type monster, you can reveal 1 other spellbook card in your hand, then target 1 spellbook normal spell card in your graveyard except Spellbook of the Master. This card's effect becomes that target's effect, and you can only activate 1 Spellbook of the Master per turn. Man, some good stuff. Good stuff. Chain Dispel, Trap. When a spell trap card is activated, destroy all cards in the controller's deck with the same name as the activated card. Ooh. Imagine nuking all your opponent's econs. The only problem is you gotta hope that they don't have any more set or in their hand. So this could be very situational. But imagine being able to nuke basically all your opponent's econs or their mirror wall or wall of Ds or so forth. That'd be pretty crazy actually. But I don't see this being played too often because of the whole... It doesn't really negate the effect from happening on the field, and it's only going to destroy the rest of them if they have more copies of that card and if they're in the deck. So if they're in the hand or on the field, you're screwed. If they're already in the graveyard because they've already played them before, this card is just a dead card. So I don't see it being played much. It definitely seems like a really tilty card, but not something that's going to be consistent. But still pretty funny. And that is it. Wow. We have done it yet again, guys. We do this every single month. If you guys do not know, I always give you guys the box leaks, and then when Konami officially launches the box information, we go over it in detail. We give a 1 to 5 rating for all the cards clear down to the normal rarity, and then we quickly discuss those. So I hope you guys do enjoy that we do these once a month, and we do them live so you guys can kind of participate and give your opinions and suggestions during these reviews. So again, I hope you guys do enjoy these. And if you guys are watching this later, be sure to drop a like, a comment below what you guys think about these cards. Are you guys excited? How many meta decks do you think we can get out of this box? I think Gusto is going to be the new free-to-play meta, which is really, really cool. It's going to add to some of the other good free-to-play metas. Sylvans. We also have the new Spellcaster support, which is amazing with the Tricky and the new Princess that we got. And we also got the Spellbook cards, which are just crazy good. I expect some limitations to come our way with those, much like they did with Bamboo. And some of the new Dragon support is also pretty damn good. So we're going to see what kind of cool new decks we can build in the coming days. Like I said, this box should be dropping around the 30th, give or take. And for some of you, it might be the 1st. If you are on the eastern part of the world. So anyways, hope you guys all enjoyed. Be sure to join our Discord in the description below. Subscribe and become an Impact player today if you are new. And again, I hope you guys did enjoy. And thank you so much for being in the stream. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And if you need a link to the box set or the petition that we did the other day, they're both in the description. So I will catch you guys all later. Have a good one. Peace.